All right, welcome back, guys. Today we will be doing a full tutorial on the ColdCard Q. We'll be setting her up and I'll show you how to integrate it with Sparrow Wallet. All right, guys, so just before we cut her open, why do we want to keep our Bitcoin on a cold storage wallet? We spend a lot of money on these things. I mean, this was 200 plus US. Why do we do it? We do it because we want to be self-sovereign, and you do not want to leave your Bitcoin on an exchange or in a hot wallet. All right. So you really want to take this extra step, put it on a cold storage. Doesn't have to be from CoinKite. Just a note, I am not paid to do this. I was not given this or gifted it. I'm doing this just for solely for educational purposes. And we really want to get the Bitcoin somewhere safe, and that is on a cold storage device. That's why it's imperative to keep your seed phrase completely under lock and key and do not lose it. All right. I think when it comes to cold storage devices, we are self-sovereign, but at the same time, you are in control. All right. So if you lose your keys, or if you misplace them, or if somebody else finds them, that's on you. Okay. So there's advantages and there's disadvantages, and the disadvantages is it's up to you. So don't fuck it up. Okay. So always buy your cold storage device directly from the vendor. Never buy it on Amazon. All right. We're going to cut this open and see what's inside. Okay. All right. So very important, guys. Inside the box, you will have obviously the ColdCard Q. You want to make sure that these numbers match, okay, and then that they also match the number inside and the number actually on the device. Very important, okay? That way we know that it's legit from CoinKite and it is verified. We're going to cut this open and we're going to see what's inside. So we're going to just unpack this. All right, so we did verify that this number matches this number. And I have the ColdCard Q, and then I have another barcode, which does indeed match. Okay. So noticeably, straight away, you can see the ColdCard Q is significantly larger than the MK4, which I actually just did a tutorial on as well, and I'll link that in the show notes below. But major difference in, first of all, the LEDs, the LCD screen size, and obviously the keyboard. And then also on the back, you'll notice that there is an option for batteries. It needs 3 AAAs, which are not included. But one thing to note is the security model of the Q is the same as the MK4. Okay, so the security aspect is the same as MK4. You've got the 2 secure elements, which are from independent vendors. And then obviously we've got the larger screen, we've got the keyboard, and we have the QR reader with an LED torch, and obviously the batteries, which we just discussed. So let's power this up. We'll get it set up and functional. You can also power it with a USB source, like a USB power brick. Never connect it to your laptop though, or your computer. Always keep it cold using batteries only. So very quickly, what else was in the box? We have a couple of stickers, and they give you a wallet backup for your seed phrase and your PIN number. Very important because we're going to write this all down. All right, batteries are in. Let's power on. All right, so ColdCard, don't trust, verify. Gives you a little spiel about using this interface. Read the full document at coldcard.com. Hope that's center and you can read it. Continue. I guess we just hit enter. It says your new ColdCard should have arrived sealed in a bag. So just give that a read. But what's very important, guys, at the top you have your barcode, and you want to make sure that that barcode is the same as that was shipped with the device. So those are basically exactly the same. So we're good. So we know that this is a verified product from CoinKite. Very important. All right, then we get the option to enter our PIN, which we will write down on the piece of paper that they provided us with. Just a note, the PIN is only for the device. It's securing the device. It has nothing to do with the seed phrase. So you're going to get a prefix and a suffix. So you're going to get a initial part of the pin, and then when you enter that, you're going to get two anti-phishing words, and those anti-phishing words should always be the same. Okay, so if your prefix is entered correctly, you will get the same anti-phishing words every time, and then you'll be able to enter the second part of the pin. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Let's write them down and go through it. All right, so I'm going to hit select, choose pin code, and it says pick a pin. And you obviously want to write this down, because if you forget the pin, there's absolutely no way of getting it back. Okay, so we're going to write this down. We're just going to scroll through this. It says, did you read to the end of the message? Say yes. Okay. Do not forget the pin. And they actually make you sign with a 6. So I'm going to hit 6 to say that you've read this. So we have to write this down. Okay, now I'm going to enter the first part of my pin off camera, and we'll get two anti-phishing words. All right, and then once I've written those two anti-phishing words down, I'm going to enter the suffix part of my pin, which I'll do again off camera. All right, so now that the pin is set, it asks you to re-enter and make sure that you see those anti-phishing words. Now we're going to set up our seed phrase. Okay, so I'm going to go into enter, and it's saying a 12-word, a 24-word, or advanced. For this tutorial, we're just going to do a 12-word seed phrase. So you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to do a 12-word seed phrase for simplicity. And I'm going to write them all down on my trusted card, which we will stamp later into metal. But I'm going to write all my words down, and then I'll check back in with you guys on the other side. Okay, so once you've written down your words and you've verified them and done the quiz, you will get to the screen which says welcome to your ColdCard, which has been configured for security practices. The USB, the NFC, and the virtual disk are all disabled, and you can actually turn these on in the settings menu. So let's just click enter, and now we are ready to sign. Okay, so now our device is set up, our pin is set, and our seed phrase is secure. I just stress again, the seed phrase, those words that you wrote down, make sure that they are safe, and I suggest stamping them into metal. And I do have a tutorial on how to stamp into metal, which I'll link to below. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to set this boy up with Sparrow Wallet, and we're going to bring it into Sparrow, and then we're going to do a transaction using the QR code. So with the ColdCard Q, you can do an SD card air gap, or you can do a QR code air gap. The QR code is what we'll be doing today with the Q, but I do have another tutorial with the MK4, which shows you how to do it with the SD card. So we're going to bring in Sparrow, and I'll meet you in the desktop. All right, guys. So to bring this into Sparrow Wallet, there's actually two options. We can use the SD card, okay, which you can put in either slot A or B, okay. And what we want to do is, but you can either use the SD card, and you can also use the QR. So for this purpose, we're going to keep with the QR. So what we want to do is go down to settings, sorry, advanced tools. So we go down to advanced tools, and we hit enter. And then we want to say export wallet. So go down to export wallet and hit enter. And now we want to export for Sparrow Wallet. So one down, and we're going to hit enter. Okay, and then it tells you that it's creating a JSON file, which will be saved either to the SD card, or you can use it via QR. So we're going to let that generate. And now it says, okay, so press 1 to save the Sparrow Wallet file to the SD card. Press B for the lower, or use the QR button, which is over there, to show the QR. And we're going to do the QR option, and I'll meet you, well, here. So we're going to hit QR, and that generates a QR. And I'm just going to open up the laptop. Okay, so over in Sparrow, now I have a full in-depth tutorial on Sparrow, which I'll link to the show notes below. But for what we want to do now is we want to say new wallet. So we're going to give our new wallet a name. I'm going to call it CCQ. Say create wallet. Now, this wallet, there's multiple options how to bring the file into Sparrow, and we're going to use the air-gapped option. Okay, so we just created the QR code on the ColdCard Q, and we're going to hit air-gapped option here. So we're going to hit the ColdCard option at the top, and we're going to hit scan. So I'm just going to click scan, and then I'm going to put my ColdCard Q right in front of the camera, and it scans that. And it brings the Q into Sparrow. All right, guys, so I noticed I was cropping slightly. So the apply button is here, bottom right. So you're going to hit that apply button and that will load your wallet into Sparrow. And you'll have your transactions, you'll have your send tab, your receive tab, and then your addresses and your UTXOs will be below. But what we'll do now is we will send some funds in and you can receive Bitcoin no problem sending the funds in to the wallet. And then we'll send some funds out and we'll do a signing via the QR code on the Q to sign the transaction for the outgoing transaction. All right, so I'm going to send some funds in and we'll show you how to do that. Back in Sparrow, we are going to go to the receive tab, which is on the left, and it pulls up our first address, Bitcoin address that we can send funds to. Now, what is cool about the queue is we want to verify that that address is actually in our queue. So if I push the QR button on the queue and I scan that address, it pulls it up and it tells me push 1 to verify ownership. So I'm going to push 1 and it scans the entire database of my addresses and it says it's a verified address and was found in this wallet. So that way we know that that address on Sparrow is 100% the same address that's in the queue and we're good to go. All right, so we verified that this is a verified address. We're going to just call it, we're going to label it. We're going to say ColdCard test. And I'm going to send funds in. And then once it's confirmed, we'll send funds out and sign it with the QR code. All right, I just sent some funds in. It's unconfirmed. We have no confirmations just yet. So as soon as I get one confirmation, I'll be able to send that out again. And just so you know, you get 6 confirmations and it's totally reversible. But with one confirmation, we are able to send the funds out. So I'll wait for that confirmation to confirm and we'll check back in. All right, so I have one confirmation on that transaction. And what I can do now is I'm going to send it out and we'll have to sign with the Q. So I'm going to say send. I'm going to go to the send tab. I'm going to paste in the address of my wallet to where I'm sending it. I'm just going to give this a label as well. Sending it to Aqua Wallet. Okay, so now what we want to do is I'm going to send the full amount. So I'm going to go down to the UTXOs tab and I'm going to select the UTXO, which I just received, and I'm going to say send selected. So that's going to send the full amount. And you have the amount up here in sats. This is actually in US dollars over here. I'm going to leave the fee as is. To check the fee, let's just jump over to the mempool to see how the fees are right now. And they at, well, the low priority is at 3 VB, so 3 sats per virtual byte. So it's fairly low. So we're going to bump this up a drop. And okay, so the cool thing about Sparrow is it shows you what's going on in the background. So we're sending it to my other Bitcoin address and there's a small fee. And we are going to say create transaction. Create transaction. Now it says finalize for signing. So we are going to click that. Now we want to use the show a QR scan. So this pops up and then here we just use our QR scanner to scan that QR code. And then it tells us, okay to send. And it tells us how much Bitcoin and the network fee. And it's telling us to the address it's being sent. And it says press enter to approve and sign the transaction. So we're going to press enter. Signing, saving. And then it gives us a QR code, which we're going to now scan. So we hit Sparrow, we go scan QR code. And I'm just going to put that there. Get a little closer. All right. So now the signature is verified, it's signed, and all we got to do now is hit broadcast transaction. And there she goes. So that transaction is now going to my designated wallet, and I should receive those funds shortly. All right, guys. So that is how we use the Q to sign with the QR code. Now, just bear in mind that you can also sign with the SD card. And in the back, where the batteries are, you can actually, there's a little storage slot right here where you can keep your SD cards. There's 2 slots. So a good place to keep the SD, the micro SD cards. But you can, with the Q, you can use the QR code to sign, or you can use the SD card, and you can also use an NFC tap. So there's multiple ways you can use the Q. All right, guys, so that is it for the ColdCard Q. A really nice cold storage device. I highly recommend it, namely because of the fact that it is open source. ColdCard and CoinKite, they are all open source, and then you're using it as well with Sparrow, so that's another third party, so your security is even stronger. The ColdCard Q, fantastic cold storage device because of the easy interface with the keypad, the large screen, the option with the QR reader, and the SD cards on the sides. Plus, you have the NFC for mobile signing, and you also have that little torch at the back. So, highly recommend it, guys. It's all about self custody. Get your funds off the exchanges and get it into a cold storage device and self custody your Bitcoin. I hope you learned something. If you did, give us a like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.